Welcome back. Today we're diving into a bittersweet Christmas in Port Charles. As the town mourns the legendary Anthony Geary, we've got Jason and Danny bearing gifts, Carly making a high-stakes move for Valentine, and a mysterious soiree at Windmere. Plus, an emotional return for Lisa Labrecht. Let's break down the drama for December 22nd through the 26th.
Okay, let's unpack this. We have an incredibly complex, just a massive stack of Port Charles source material covering the 2 weeks leading right up to and including Christmas 2025. It's not just drama, it's a full-scale implosion. We're seeing legal battles, spy games, and family secrets all hitting their crescendo at the same time.
It is absolute chaos, but it's a very structured chaos. Our mission for you today is to synthesize this whole dramatic arc. We're tracking, 3 or 4 simultaneous high-stakes plots. So you go into the holidays knowing exactly which bombshells are about to drop.
And the central theme seems to be that nobody, and I mean nobody, regardless of their last name, is escaping the consequences of their actions this season.
Not a chance. The karma is coming for everyone.
Exactly. Before we dive into the really high-stakes stuff, we have to start with the logistics, because even Port Charles has to, bow down to the preemption schedule.
Right. The holidays are going to interrupt our viewing time.
They absolutely are.
So for anyone trying to track this deep dive in real time, that week of December 22nd through the 26th, Christmas week, the schedule is frankly a real mess.
A mess is a good word for it. We are only anticipating 3 new episodes that week, which means those cliffhangers are going to be very strategically placed.
We're expecting new shows on Monday, Tuesday, and then surprisingly on Friday.
That Friday is critical.
It's so critical. Christmas Eve, that's Wednesday the 24th, is slated for a rerun, and Christmas Day, Thursday the 25th, is a full preemption NBA coverage. So you need to know that all these massive developments we're about to discuss, they're either going to hit right at the beginning of the week, or we will be waiting until that Friday episode for the big payoff.
Perfect. Okay, now that we know when we can actually watch, let's jump right into the legal quicksand that is just swallowing up the Quartermain family. The Drew shooting fallout.
Oh yeah, this involves Drew, Willow, Michael, and Tracy.
The whole crew.
And this plot is moving, way faster than anyone anticipated. Initially, it looked really dire for Willow Tate.
Right.
Drew's trial is ongoing, but the sources are all indicating that the evidence against Willow is suddenly improving. The surveillance video that first implicated her, it's reportedly been deleted.
Wow, just gone.
Just gone, which leads to her charges essentially evaporating.
That sounds like a huge victory for Drew, but the sources are hinting that this whole thing is built on sand.
It is. Drew regained a critical piece of memory about the night he was shot. Specifically, he recalls hearing Willow's voice right in the immediate aftermath.
Oh, that changes things.
It changes everything. It forces him to re-examine whether she was truly an innocent bystander or, someone actively covering her tracks. And what really stands out to me is the foreshadowing. The sources suggest that even as Drew's feeling victorious, his first Christmas as Willow's husband might also be his last.
That's ominous.
They use this phrase, a karmic slap is pending, which is so specific, it suggests his current hubris is about to be completely shattered.
And while Drew's facing this personal reckoning, the legal spotlight has moved firmly onto Michael and Tracy.
Firmly. Detective Harrison Chase has been putting in the work and has definitively proven that Michael Corinthos' alibi for the night of the incident is completely fake.
Not just fake, but Chase has confirmed, right, through surveillance, that Michael was loitering right outside Drew's house when the shooting happened.
Yep. Which puts Michael in a, quote, disadvantageous position. A legal understatement, if I've ever heard one.
This is where the family dynamics get truly explosive. Tracy Quartermain jumps in, trying to use her influence to protect Michael.
She's offering to help him spin the story, provide cover, whatever it takes.
But Michael, in classic Corinthos fashion, just throws it right back at her.
He does. The specific quote is, "You're assuming I need protection." And that is the exact moment Michael seals his own fate. He refuses help, refuses to see his own jeopardy, and he's having this conversation in a very public place.
So when you read that quote, was that just like the big red flag for you? The precise moment he created the evidence that would bury him?
Absolutely, because that entire exchange between them, where Tracy basically admits she knows he's guilty and Michael is too arrogant to take the lifeline, it was overheard.
Overheard by who?
The consensus in the sources points straight to Martin Gray. He was probably there on some other business, maybe or even instructed by Drew, and just stumbled upon pure gold.
And this is where the deeper connections matter, because Martin isn't going to just sit on this. He's expected to take it directly to Alexis Davis.
Yeah.
So why Alexis?
Because Alexis and Tracy have serious unresolved bad blood. You have to remember, Tracy framed Alexis for a DUI. It was a devastating setback for her.
Right.
So the motivation for revenge against Tracy for that perjury, combined with the fact that Michael is potentially guilty of attempted murder. It means Alexis has every reason to align with Martin. They are uniting specifically for payback.
And this alliance gives Chase everything he needs. He's got the surveillance footage placing Michael at the scene, and now he has this overheard conversation.
Corroborated by a lawyer, no less, and pushed by Alexis. It implicates Tracy in lying to protect him.
Which all culminates in the huge pre-Christmas climax. Chase is expected to make 2 arrests.
Michael and Tracy.
If this happens, it doesn't just guarantee a miserable Christmas. It fundamentally alters the Quartermaine dynasty. The heir, Michael, arrested for a violent crime, and the matriarch, Tracy, for perjury.
That is that legacy consequence you were talking about. This is so much bigger than one court case. It shatters the family hierarchy going into 2026.
Okay, let's pivot from the courtroom chaos to the international intrigue, the spy games involving Valentin, Anna, and the very nefarious Jack Brennan.
This plot is ramping up, just as promised. Valentin is still a fugitive, and he's hiding out in Carly Spencer's attic.
Of all places.
I know! They are actively plotting how to take down Brennan, and they have to be extremely careful to protect Jocelyn Jacks, who's also been targeted. The sources say they're going to ramp up their counter strategy during Christmas week.
But the real danger is coming from a very unexpected direction. Nina Reeves. Wait, I have to stop you here. The sources say Nina is scheming to use Charlotte Cassidy and Valentin's own daughter to lure him out for Brennan.
Yeah.
Isn't that exceptionally low, even for Nina?
The sources paint this as a completely cold, strategic move. No hesitation. Charlotte, who trusts Nina implicitly, reviews that she got a symbolic key, a signal that her dad is safe and nearby.
And Nina just sees an opportunity.
Immediately. She plans to exploit that trust, suggest Charlotte meet him, and then call Brennan to ensure Valentin's capture. It is a stone-cold betrayal layered under this veneer of holiday concern for Charlotte.
That's just wow. But the spies always have a countermove. Brennan, feeling a little too secure in his plans, starts opening up to Carly.
And this communication is vital. He might accidentally reveal the bargain he struck with Nina to capture Valentin.
If he does that, that gives Carly the exact intel she needs to relay back to Valentin.
Exactly. She could turn Nina's betrayal into a trap for Brennan himself. It's a very tight, high-stakes game of telephone.
Meanwhile, what's going on with Anna Devane? She's still captive.
She is, believed to be under Windermere, and her captors are the notorious operatives Pascal and Jen Sidwell.
Jen Sidwell. That's the same guy pressuring Laura, right?
Very same. It shows how connected this whole criminal web is. And unfortunately, Anna is set up for a very blue Christmas.
She notices a diversion, a possible chance to escape. But given these guys are described as having a mean streak, is this escape attempt actually a trap?
That's what the sources are suggesting. The diversion may be a cruel psychological stunt, or a lure designed to lead her straight into another trap, just reinforcing their control over her. Her life is in active jeopardy right through the holiday.
That's chilling. Okay, moving from international espionage to domestic upheaval. Let's talk about Portia Robinson and that imminent DNA paternity test.
This is a huge emotional flashpoint. It truly is. Portia is, understandably, incredibly stressed, which is dangerous given her medical state.
And right on cue, enter Dr. Isaiah Gannon, who is making a very clear, very seductive play for her.
Very clear. He tempts Portia to spend her mandatory bed rest at his cabin, a place he keeps calling our cabin. He's trying to isolate her and deepen their connection right before the truth comes out.
And he's doing it by confronting the inevitable Curtis Ashford problem head on.
Totally. Isaiah tells Portia he's not afraid of Drew or Curtis, but she's worried. She says Curtis would cause him serious problems if he found them together. The pressure is just mounting from all sides.
And just to add more fuel to this fire, Brad Cooper is suddenly back.
Apparently, Brad blew through the $1 million Drew gave him very quickly, and now he's back in Port Charles. He shows up immediately at Portia's hospital room, probably looking to scheme his way back into a job.
And his return isn't just about him. He immediately disrupts Portia's fragile state, but also the lives of Lucas Jones and Marco Rios. It's classic Port Charles.
One returning character creates fresh conflict for 3 or 4 other key players.
Speaking of surprising connections, let's look at the slow burn romance between Jason Morgan and Britt Westbourne.
The sources suggest Britt is finally finally softening toward Jason, which is fascinating given her history and her illness.
And Jason is doing his research in his own uniquely intense way. He corners Jocelyn to grill her for information about Britt, specifically about the Five Poppies Resort and her Huntington status.
And his justification is so Jason. He tells Jocelyn she literally owes her life to Britt, implying she's obligated to help him help Britt. It's a very pragmatic approach to romance.
That's a great way to put it. He can't just approach her. He has to gather intelligence first. It's a business negotiation disguised as courtship.
The sources even suggest Britt might confide in Brad, her old troublesome friend, about her feelings for Jason. And the big romantic tease. Jason is expected to make a bold romantic move on Christmas.
I have to laugh. For Jason Morgan, a bold romantic move probably involves a very expensive piece of jewelry delivered with a silent head nod.
Maybe involving his motorcycle.
We will be waiting eagerly to see what constitutes bold for him. Okay, let's tackle the Falconeri family stress, which is hitting a devastating high note.
It is. Dante is desperately struggling with the conflict between his two sons, Gio and Rocco.
And Rocco, the younger son, has had enough. He gives his father an ultimatum, refusing to be kept away from his half-brother Gio. That's a massive boundary for a child to set.
And this feeds directly into Lulu Spencer's frustration. She is furious. The sources say she's raging at Britt, who Rocco has devastatingly started calling his other mother after finding out Rocco was texting her.
Oof, that's the psychological knife twist right there. Lulu is feeling deeply rejected by her own son. And Charlotte claimed her true home is wherever Valentin is. She's losing control.
And with her reality kind of fraying, she's leaning heavily on Nathan West for support. But what's critical for you to remember here is that Nathan, while he seems to be saying all the right things, is described as potentially untrustworthy.
So her choice of confidant right now might be the worst decision she makes all year. All right, let's wrap up with the rest of the Quartermain fallout and the pressure on Laura.
Tracy Quartermain's return is peak Tracy. She comes back expecting the red carpet and is furious the cues didn't roll out the welcome wagon.
And Ned has to explain that, he had a heart attack and surgery, and Drew helped save his life.
And in classic Tracy fashion, she seems more angry about the loss of the family heirlooms than her son's near-fatal health crisis. Priorities are skewed when a ceramic owl is more important than bypass surgery.
Her vow is immediate. She intends to destroy Drew. All about revenge.
All about revenge. And finally, at the highest political levels, Laura Collins is still under duress from Jen Sidwell, one of Vanna's captors.
He's still pressuring her, possibly forcing her to take credit for something awful he did, like chasing Sonny off the piers.
This pressure forces Laura to worry desperately about her husband Kevin's safety, which leads to Kevin meeting in secret with Sonny Corinthos. They have to discuss the massive jam they've landed in.
So you have the mob boss, the mayor, and the psychiatrist meeting covertly to deal with this threat right as the town prepares for Christmas. That shows you the level of crisis they're facing.
It's the highest level of collaboration we've seen in a while.
So what does this all mean for you? The key takeaways for the next 2 weeks are, they're explosive. Michael and Tracy are extremely likely to be arrested for perjury and attempted murder,
which guarantees a dynastic crisis for the Quartermains. We also have the race to capture or save Valentin and Anna reaching a fever pitch, with Nina's cold-blooded deception as the catalyst.
And maybe most significantly for the domestic front, Portia's paternity truth is imminent. That will shake the foundation of the Robinson and Ashford families completely.
It's a holiday season built entirely on lies, eavesdropping, and conspiracy.
It really is. So given the number of characters who have lied on the stand, eavesdropped, conspired against their own family, what's the collective consequence of this widespread lack of integrity? And which relationship, be it romantic or familial, is the least likely to survive the first week of 2026?
That's the ultimate question of this deep dive. When the truth about Michael and Tracy comes out, the relationship between Michael and Drew will be irrecoverable. But I think the most fragile pairing, the one that's almost guaranteed to fracture, is Lulu and Dante's co-parenting dynamic. Lulu's emotional fragility, her desperate, toxic lashing out at Britt while her own son rejects her, is doing irreparable damage. The holiday chaos has just exposed the rot underneath that relationship, and I don't think it will survive the new year.
An exposed rot indeed. That is a truly dramatic note to end on. You are now fully prepared for the Christmas chaos in Port Charles.